Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's episode of Just Hack It, we're gonna be reviewing Skystar F7 stack. Now basically this is a F7 flight controller which comes with a 45 amp PL Heli 32-bit ESC. So without wasting any more time, let's jump to the video. Now these are all the accessories which they supply. You have a DJI cable, 4 long screws, 4 short screws, your stack, a pair of 14 gauge wire, a Rubicon ZLA series capacitor, 4 nylon screws, 1 XT60H connector. Now keeping all of those things aside, let's talk about the stack. In the front you can see there is a curved design which basically gives you more clearance for your camera up tilt, and you can stuff in some more wires if you are running a very tight build. At the corner you can see there are 4 LED pads which basically gives you a easy access to the LED pads, and you're gonna have a clean connection if you want to run some LEDs. Now it is DJI ready out of the box, and it also supports analog OSD. It also has a onboard black box memory flash, so you can save some black box log into this flight controller. You will not need a separate device. And also there is a really nice thing which they have did. They have made sure that there is no SMD component near the parts which users work upon. So there are some flight controllers in the market which have the SMD parts like capacitor or resistor near the pad, and when the user is trying to solder some wire, it is really hard for him to not destroy the flight controller by removing those SMD parts. Now talking about the BEC, they have a dual BEC which is rated up to 3 amp, so you can get 10 volt out of this and also 5 volt. Now let's talk about the AC. Now let's talk about the MOSFETs which they are using. Now these are not Toshiba MOSFETs, but still they are large in size, so they will handle the heat in an efficient way. And also you can see that they have supplied a lot of low ASR capacitor on the PCB, so you will gonna have a better filtration out of this ESC. And these MOSFETs are rated up to 30 volt, and I have checked the data sheet of these MOSFETs. So yeah, these are rated 30 volt, so you can run them safely on 6S. Now talking about the motor pad, they have the edge plating, and this is a really nice thing because it will give you more surface area for you to solder your motor wire. Now moving on to next thing, they have supplied you grooves for your XT60. Now having these grooves instead of a normal pad, it will allow you more surface area for your XT60 to get in contact with the parts of the ESC, and like it will reduce the amount of heat which is produced due to less contact area. Moving ahead, you can see there are some holes for your low ASR capacitor. Now this makes your life a lot easier. All you need to do is take your low ASR capacitor and install its leg inside these holes, and you need to solder, and that's it. It's really nice and it's really easy, and even a beginner can do it, so it's a good thing. And if I'm gonna flip the ESC, you can see they have done some conformal coating. So this ESC is waterproof up to some extent. I will not say it's completely waterproof, but still, if you are landing on some wet grass, this ESC will be protected. And they have also made sure that they have used rubber gummies in the ESC, so in case if you're gonna have a crash, your ESC will be prevented from any kind of harsh vibration which happens during the crash, and it will prevent any kind of mini cracks which develop and cause short inside your ESC. Now I would like to acknowledge that the SMD soldering which they have done on this ESC is one of the best which I have ever seen. I have tested and reviewed a lot of ESCs, but I can say that the SMD work which they have done on the ESC is the best one which I've ever seen. If I'm going to try to show you, you can see everything is so perfectly aligned. Now let's talk about some cons of this ESC. The first thing which I would like to tell you guys is that they are using a PCB which is not very thick compared to some premium ESC out there, but still you need to keep this in your mind that this is a budget friendly ESC, so they must be doing cost cutting at some place, and this is the place where they are doing some cost cutting. This is not as thick as some of the ESCs like DAL RC or Acon ESC, but still it is sufficient enough for a 45 amp ESC. Moving ahead, let's talk about the flight controller. There are some parts on the flight controller which are very small in size, and it may create a problem for you in case if you want to solder some wires to it. And let me point out those parts. You can see over here, these are the parts I'm talking about. You can see these are so tiny parts that you may have problems soldering them. And also there is one more thing which they missed in the ESC is that they didn't add any kind of EMI shield. they could have supplied a thin EMI shield, or they could have used any kind of protection, because there are always some pilots who are like on the verge of extinction and they're going to do something stupid and they're going to destroy the ESC. So having any kind of protection over the ESC is a really nice thing which they could have done. Even a nylon or a plastic one would have worked, but yeah, we can't complain for the price. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. In case this video was really helpful for you, please consider subscribing to this channel. It really helps me a lot. Thank you guys.